This is a trusted source, guys. We're talking Doran. Now he believes the Ethereals have been leaked. The next expansion will give us playable Ethereals. You know what that means, right? Transmog for everyone, bitches. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to bring an Ethereal to every raid just so I can transmog. But let's see why Doran believes Ethereals are coming in the next expansion.
Ethereals are highly advanced people whose planet was destroyed by the Void Lords, and they all swore to fight them. The same Void Lords that are currently threatening our planet with a million different hints being relevant even in 10.1.5, and these guys, as far as we know, were the only one that managed to fend them off, at least for a little while. At the start of the Dragon fight, we got a coin where we learned that we were observed by them, then they will later appear. Then in 10.1.5, we data mined Shadows of Azeroth, something related to the Void Elves, possibly next expansion hints, and as you may know, the Ethereals are highly linked to all this Void and Void Elf stuff. Blizzard also gave us an interview where they confirmed something will be happening with them. These are all hints they purposely made, and now in 10.1.7, we data mined an Ecodome, we data mined a Void Narrow, and a few other things that could highly about the Void Narrow. Ethereals are a very well-established race that is highly magically advanced that can very easily...
I feel like people have been asking for Ethereals since Burning Crusade. When we had the Netherstorm area and everything, and those Ethereals were everywhere. I feel like since then, people have been saying, could we get a playable Ethereal race? And I'm going to be honest, Ethereals I always thought were badass. I always thought they were a very cool race. But in terms of getting them as playable race, I don't know.
Implemented that is more relevant to a possible Void expansion than really any other race out there.
One reason why I used to think we wouldn't get playable Ethereals is because of this, because the gear never really shows on them. But now I changed my mind because that's essentially what they gave us with Drakthir. Drakthir, when you're in dragon form, which is 99% of the time, it feels like, your gear doesn't show. Only like your shoulders and like a bit of your chest or helm or something show, but nothing really shows. So now I think, yeah, maybe we could get Ethereals where only like a few pieces of your armor actually show through.
Than really any other race out there, they could literally become our guide in the upcoming Void invasion of...
Oh, they're gonna play a role.
So what are all these new hints, and could we be seeing the Ethereals as a playable race soon? The problem with buying earbuds is generally you get what you pay for, but if you click on this video sponsor, you can get excellent quality earbuds for half the price. Personally, I mainly use earbuds when I'm in the gym or when I'm outside.
Yeah, we get to watch Doran pump today.
Blown away because I've switched over 10 pairs so far, and already like a few weeks of use, I was expecting that dreaded beeping sound like an hour into a workout, and then I realized that there's 8 hours of non-stop battery life and 32 hours in total, which is just ridiculous, and even have models with 50, so it is super good. The best thing about them is that they fit in super well. They have not slipped once in the few weeks that I've been using them. And if you guys already have a pair of earbuds, you can always get another one because you always need them for multiple occasions. So to get yours, go to my link in the description or just buy raycon.com/Doran and you can get 15% off.
Oh yeah, use code Doran, there you go.
I'm not sure how many of you noticed, but Blizzard has been setting up the Ethereals hard behind the scenes all throughout this expansion. Because Ethereals get us hard. Not only did we get hints at the start, but we also got hints that were data mined right now in 10.1.7 just a few weeks back. Initially, we got this coin called the Curious Coin that was actually used by an Ethereal vendor
I remember
that. We learned that it is related to Shadrim, a Void Ethereal that is also related to the Locust Walker that you guys may remember back from Legion, that is subsequently tied to Void Elves that are super relevant at the moment, and also Lotraxian, a Dreadlord, who are also relevant at the moment.
This guy's playing games, man. He's playing games. I don't trust him. I don't trust any of these Dreadlords. You can call me racist if you want, but the Dreadlords have been fucking around for far too long for this guy to be a legit part of the light. He's just the ultimate infiltrator. A Dreadlord who has embraced the light. That is the craziest story I ever heard, and then yet here he is. This guy's playing games. He's about to play us all.
Traxian, a Dreadlord, who are also relevant at the moment. The coin itself said this: a single strange coin sits in your bag, along with a small note. Thank you for the opportunity to observe you. The information I've gathered has been illuminating, to say the least. This will be my final gift for now. Now, obviously something is happening with this, but after this we got an official Blizzard interview from Steve Danuser himself, where he was asked about the Ethereals. He said that we might have to wait a little while, but all of this was done on purpose. They purposefully planted this. It is a hint for what will happen in the future, but that is all that he can say at the moment. Now, here is the good stuff. What is really important to keep in mind is we can make some really interesting connections. This Shadreen guy, a Void Ethereal, is actually a guy that is closely related to the Void Elves. We first saw him in the Telegrass Rift. He has been particularly interested in monitoring Galleria Windrunner and the Void Elves, and now he's monitoring us through this coin. What is even more interesting is that we got some hints for the possible next expansion that is called the Shadows of Azeroth. We have data mined some maps in the tiny part of the Eastern Kingdom that is related to the Void Elves that is not actually accessible.
Yeah,
this is that
was a
little part
that's
of Quotalas that is not actually Quotalas. This part has been called the Shadow of Azeroth, and it has this mysterious void dome above it for an unexplained reason yet, and it has actually been in this state for years, and now, for some reason, in 10.1.5, Blizzard decided to make some minor changes to this zone. However, things have been moving even further. There are a ton of more new hints. Now, Ethereals themselves are fairly well established. We've had them since TBC, and if the next expansion is somehow void related, and all the hints at the moment are pointing towards that being the case,
I actually think that we're going to take a slight step back from void related stuff in the next expansion. I'm not going to tell you it's not going to be there, but I don't think it's going to be like an Enter the Void expansion or something like that. I think we're getting the pirate expansion with the void playing a role in the background and then maybe becoming more and more influential as the expansion goes on, and then eventually we fight something that has to do with the void towards the end of it. But I don't see us just delving straight into, well, now we fight the Void Lords, like right away. I don't think that's going to happen.
Really is not a more relevant race in the entire World of Warcraft universe than these guys. If you may remember, Ethereals
would we go into the void?
Of Kalesh, and they were a really...
Like, I don't think we're leaving Azeroth to go fight the void yet. I feel like we've got still got a little bit to do before that happens.
Advanced civilization. These guys were one of the unlucky victims that were actually attacked by a Void Lord. As far as we know, one of the most powerful beings in the universe.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think we're going to see a Void Lord just
decided to start the Burning Crusade against, so potentially even stronger than him in his Titan form. Since the Ethereals were so powerful, they managed to resist for a long time to defend themselves with arcane barriers, but ultimately, as an explosion happened, they all lost their forms, which is why they're currently covered in bandages. And
magic bandages that hold them together.
Ethereals were never really Ethereals. I mean, we don't really know what their natural form was, but it wasn't a bandaged magic one that we are all used to. However, since then, they had to adapt to continue fighting the Void.
It would be cool if they actually showed us what Ethereals used to look like.
Some have even joined the Void, some have used it to resist, similar to the Void Elves fighting fire with fire, and a lot of them became merchants, so like Ethereal space goblins. Now, Ethereals are a very advanced civilization. They use this thing that is not actually common anywhere, and it is called technomancy. They use this even back on their home planet, which might be the reason why they drew in the Void Lords and why they struck. This is how they transmog things, this is the void storage, how they reforge stuff. Most importantly, their civilization is so advanced that they managed to construct ecodomes, these huge isolated ecosystems that we have actually seen ourselves back on Outland. This is magic us as Rothians are not really capable of yet. We have seen them making enclaves on the destroyed planet of Outland through these domes, where it was literally like a planet inside of a planet. Now, what is the biggest hint right now, and it is what we have actually data mined, an ecodome. This is actually one of the main reasons why I'm making this video.
This is when everyone wanted Void, you know, when everyone started wanting Ethereals, that was the time. Like, seeing them around in Netherstorm and everything, oh my god, everyone was going nuts, busting nuts everywhere.
Video. First, we got the coin of them observing us, then in 10.1.5 we got updates to the Shadows of Azeroth map changing, and now in 10.1.7 we got
these ecodomes were amazing. I love these things. I used to go inside this one, especially with all the plants in it. I think it was the coolest thing.
Now in 10.1.7 we got a data mined ecodome, and we don't really know
there's
at
an
the moment in
ecodome
what
in
context it will be used. Right now, with Zealotad working with Redicron, Ashara coming from the Whale of the Void, and Redicron talking about bringing back the Titans. Literally everything is hinting that the Void is coming for us. More importantly, the Void Lords themselves. And if anyone is out there to fight him, it is the Ethereals. I mean, keep in mind, the Ethereals are literally like Draenei 2.0, only that the Draenei were burned by the Legion, while the Ethereals were burned by the Void. Homelands, a world that got destroyed, both became nomadic space people. The only difference is that the Draenei...
Screaming fear! The Void is here!
They became like these
Where did you
religious
find that?
light followers that followed the Naru, while the Ethereals essentially turned into space goblins that embraced magic more, and they just traveled all across the universe, and they split into various groups. They weren't really as compact as the Draenei themselves. However, what is really interesting is the presence of the brokers in Shadowlands.
Yeah, the brokers. I was just thinking about them.
Nobody has actually confirmed that they're related to the Ethereals, but so many hints exist. I mean, from their appearance to the
way they act and talk, it feels like they're related to the Ethereals in some way.
Culture, and even the fact that they're divided into cartels. Some believe they are formed that infiltrated the Death Realm. We have seen these guys really take interests in the first one's creations, the Mortis, everything related to this cosmological
good old Shadowlands lore.
Themselves, which is also something you would really expect the Ethereals to do as well. They really ended up on a cliffhanger. They got a lot of development back in Shadowlands, so we could definitely be seeing a continuation to this storyline quite soon. However, I'm not just talking about speculations, even more actual hints exist. I don't really feel like I need to repeat myself a million times. I'm pretty sure by now you guys have definitely heard some of the Void hints. I mean, they're pretty much everywhere, but recently we have actually data mined a Void Naru called a Dimension Breaker in 10.1.7.
Yes.
We have known about these guys in the past, we have seen these corrupted Naru, but obviously he is being brought in this patch for some reason. Previously we got hints of the Cosmic Void and the Cosmic Wanderer and Shul, and all of this could really tie in with the Void Ethereals. You might know of a really interesting Void Ethereal, you know, obviously the Locust Walker, the guy back from Legion that essentially led Illyria. If you want to know more about him, do the Void Elf questline. It's pretty cool. That apparently turned to the light. He said that the Eltraxian has a unique destiny to fulfill.
This guy's
now,
gonna fuck us over,
Shadowlands, we learned that the Natrazim actually have a light agent, and we haven't heard of Eltraxian since, which means that both him and Locust Walker could soon be quite relevant. However, the real question is, how would these Ethereals even work as a race, and could they even actually work? Could they actually become playable?
I used to think no, but now I think they could.
Is the fact that their physical form is really, just to say it simply, not that interesting. We can see them looking different, but they really aren't that open to customization. I mean, like, what are we gonna do? Just change up their bandage color? I mean, they really aren't all that interesting. Just humanoid forms with bandages all over. Now,
I mean, obviously, I think they would have to add more. Oh my God, is that a Void Camel? Is that an Ethereal Camel? Holy shit, that's oh my God, even if they don't give us this, I want this. Holy crap, this is amazing. They would have to add more customization options to them to make them, you know, a playable race, kind of like they've done with the Tuskar. Even though they haven't given us playable Tuskar yet, I really thought those were coming with all the customizations they had, and they still might come. But this, oh my God. Just give me the Ethereal Camel.
This discussion has existed in the WoW community for a while
Different
now.
glow colors, robes, and hats.
How this customization could work. Since they don't have their original form, they can have all sorts of decorations on them, from masks to jewelry to various things they could wear that is actually not related to
the same way that they made Drakthir. You know, part of the customization of your Drakthir is that you add certain armor pieces to them. Obviously, that would be part of the Ethereal thing. Is you'd have to add different. You'd be able to add different armor pieces to them.
However, what is also possible is that through their thousands of years quest, they might have figured out a way to bring back their living form. As I said, they didn't actually look like this in the past. If they're able to create ecodomes and make literal mobile ecosystems, why wouldn't they be able to form themselves up once again? In terms of classes, they could be super interesting. They could be rogues, obviously.
Man, imagine their racials. They have some cool ones.
These guys are essentially a sorcerer class. They're extremely intelligent and good arcanists, mages. They could even become priests, warlocks, and pretty much any caster class you can imagine. They're essentially like the good Eretar back from Argus back in the day, and if we really are going the Void route with all the hints to the next expansion, there really is no more relevant race that could come than the Ethereals themselves. We could literally have the entire storyline be based around them. Remember how back in Legion, Velen and the Draenei were guiding us to battle against Sargeras because they have so much experience personally? Well, now, the Ethereals could do the same. They could tell us how they actually managed to fend off the Void Lord invasion, like what it was firsthand, and how did they manage to hold off as long as they did, and they could reveal us weak points that we could never be able to figure out ourselves. Even more interestingly, throughout the years, Blizzard has obviously expanded on these guys. They added female forms and voices. They made them significantly more detailed and better looking, even back in Legion, adding more models and customizations, and now in Dragonflight they're following us, observing us, and will 100% appear. Now, I'm personally 100% certain we will get a pretty significant storyline with Ethereals soon.
Mini Void Lord,
no confirmations on them being playable, but it could definitely be happening. Thank you for watching. Check out the possible return of lag and also by click on the screen, and also check out my first virtual video on the second channel. See you next time.
Nice. Well, one thing they got to give Ethereals if they become playable, like I said, is the ability to transmog, because that's all we'd need them for. I'd bring an Ethereal to everything. Ethereals, join us, help us transmog. Even though we got the transmog mod, I don't know, just using another player to do it would be extra fun. But there it is. There it is. Ethereals joining us.